Hello everybody, welcome to another charting session here on the channel. Today is March 21st. I took 2 trades today and I will be going over them. So going into the 15-minute here, my bias this morning, I didn't really have much of a bias. I just wanted to kind of have a loose bias. I did anticipate us to reach up to this high, which we did, and I wasn't wanting to take a trade until we got up to this high, but the only thing about that is that we were like, this high is a prominent liquidity target. And especially since we had such a massive move yesterday, this day was expected to be consolidation. As you can see, that's what happened. We got massive move and then consolidation, which I'll go over that a little bit later. But after taking this high, there's not much opportunity, yet I'm going to explain why I took longs, even though we took the high. So first of all, going into this morning, I started trading around like 9:40, and first thing I want to say, if we go to this 1 minute here, we had this. So what I've noticed and what I have been studying is that usually when we have an impulsive movement down, like really quick out of kind of nowhere, right? There's no reason we should have just kind of went down here. We weren't really respecting off PD array. We were just kind of in a downtrend. And then plus this also happened. This was probably a news event right here at 5 a.m. So this impulsive move down usually signifies as manipulation, in that it's sort of the end of us moving down. So all of right here, I drew out a manipulation leg, maybe this was like a 5-minute manipulation, sort of like this. So here's our manipulation leg down, and then we displace up, respect this for value gap right here. I'm going to draw this out real quick. So as you can see, we clearly respected this 5-minute for value gap, and we got a strong push up. So with this, I had standard deviation on this manipulation leg, and the targets were right above these highs, which we actually did hit, and we respected off of very well. So that's the first thing I'm going to point out. Secondly, after that happens, we want to, after this move, usually what's going to happen is we will retrace to discount. And so I actually drew OTE in here from the top of this wick to the bottom of this wick of this move. And we respected this OTE range, which is this golden ratio and the 70%. We respected it pretty well. Okay, as you can see, all the wicks and bodies respected it. And so now going into where I took my trades. So as you can see, we retraced down here and we were respecting this level pretty good. Then what happened was we got a displacement back up, and here was our 5-minute fair value gap retrace. All right, so let's look at this. Here's the 5-minute fair value gap retrace. So we came down, came back up. This was an inverse fair value gap. And with this inverse fair value gap, we also created an inverse 1 minute. So I took my first long entry right here, and I put my stop at the bottom of this candle. And right whenever I entered, I saw this little small rejection, right? And it came back down a little bit. So I entered here and instantly got stopped out, right? So at this time, I was thinking, okay, well, this was probably just the manipulation leg. As you can see, it came down and it swept all these lows. It also was the first wick to actually tap this 70.5% level. So this was OTE. And so after we got displacement back up, respecting it, I was guessing that this was just the manipulation leg and that we would head higher. So additionally, on this manipulation leg of 2 candles, I drew in this standard deviation, and it was projected that this would head up to here, right? And so I took a long, but I was originally wanting just to target 50%. And the reason why I was wanting to target 50% of this range right here was because we had this displacement up, and I was figuring, okay, maybe if we are going to be bearish, okay, if we're going to be bearish and we have just tapped this -2.5, I'd figure we're going to want to rebalance to this 50%. But the reason I took it off here is because we had this inverse 1 minute that I was expecting to possibly act as resistance. So it'd come down and we would bounce off here to head lower. As you can see, I got out right near the top, and that's exactly what happened. And so I made my profits back on this loss right here. Additionally, we then ran back up, and I was done here, but I was wanting to take one more trade just in case, and I didn't end up taking the trade, but I really wanted to, and I kind of do wish I had, because right here was the first time we created soup, and this is because we had an SMT at the lows, right? Here's your sweep, and this is what soup would be, displacement up. You take your entry on this candle, close, which would be right here, or you could just see the wick going up, right? See us respect it. So if I was to take my entry here, I would probably take it off at 50% because we had not tapped it yet. That would have been a nice trade, but I did not do it. And then additionally, I want to see, then we came back down. I do want to see, did we tap into the OTE range? It kind of looks like we did. Yep, so we did respect OTE here, sold back off. And then, yeah, if you look today, I honestly shouldn't have traded. And the reason why is because, like I said before, we had a massive move, right, yesterday. So today is to be consolidation. Whenever it's a consolidation day, you're most likely going to have trappy action, okay? Keep that in mind, trappy action. This is where price is not really efficient, or it's just like hard to read, right? We get all these wicks that stop people out. Like, what's a good example? There's not many good examples, but like, let's say even right here, let's say you were to put a long, like somewhere like right here, you would get wicked out. Let's say you put another long like right here, wick out, right? You keep getting wicked out, and all these wicks, you know, they're a decent amount. Like just like this kind of, I'd say like small to medium sized wick. How do I do this? There we go. That's about 6.5 points, right? So that's not real nice. But that was sort of the action today. And then we kind of went back up. We did not take this high. We got really close. I'm going to mark buy side right here. So we got pretty close. And then we just sold off. And so I'm kind of thinking that this could be something we could touch in the future. These standard deviations really won't work anymore just because we came down and took these lows. So I am going to take these off. Not that. So I'm going to take this off. We respected OTE on this bigger range, pumped back up, and we did not take out that high. And then we came back, took this low, so I'm going to take this off. I'm just going to clear this up. Right, clear this all up. So additionally here, we created this 15-minute for value gap on the move down, and then we also came back up. All these were wicks. We tapped this order block right here. We also tapped this breaker and this little mini breaker right here. Sold back off. Didn't even take this low. I do want to see, was there an SMT at this low? Yep, there is an SMT at this low, so I'm going to draw that out. So this right here, if you were to recognize this low while charting, let me just mark these as SMT. If we go down to the 1 minute here, let's see if there was an entry to go higher. So a good safe thing to do, if there is ever like an SMT or something, or you want to take a move higher, if we're trading back up into a range, it's always smart to take it off like a PD array or some sort of discount level. So we're looking at NQ right here. I mean, it's probably not smart to take a trade just because this is 4 p.m., right? The market's not really going to do much after 4 p.m. But as you can see, right after we created this SMT, we got a nice pump back up. And we do have all this engineered buy side, and it did mostly get taken out. So my guess is that we're going to take this last final high right here, so maybe sometime in the night session. Let's check to see if we have any news. Where's this at? Right here. Okay, so tomorrow we do have 9 a.m. news. Oh, okay, Powell speaks tomorrow. That is nice. That is real nice. Okay, 9 a.m. Powell speaks. That is like perfect. So if Powell speaks, we're either going to get a pump up or down. Hopefully we get a pump up to this 15-minute fair value gap. If we do, and then we start having our reverse, maybe a soup at the top, we could see us head down at least to these lows, maybe even like discounted this range right here. I'm actually going to mark that out. So I take, let me do this on a higher time frame. See, Powell's move is going to be pretty good. We just had consolidation. We might have another high move, right? These were all kind of low moves. This was a high move. We may get a nice reversal. So I am going to put 50% at the bottom of here and the top of here. So this is where we may hit. I'll draw this out. All right. And does this line with any PD arrays? It sort of does align with this kind of like consolidative move right here, which can act as support as like kind of like an order block. So that is kind of where my targets are tomorrow. That's where I'm expecting price to go, especially with Powell speaking. So yeah, okay. Another thing I want to touch on is about big moves and then consolidation. So here's a bunch of days in the past, right? I'm going to kind of go over this. So let's just say we start right here. You see we get a massive move. We get another massive move, okay? And then usually what you would expect after especially 2 massive move days is just a bunch of consolidations. You can see right here, we had a bit of a move, consolidation, right? More consolidation, consolidation. All this is consolidation. And we were creating buy-side liquidity, got a massive pump up to take out this buy-side liquidity completely. And we got another massive pump up, so then we had some more consolidation, came and sold off. So usually what you would expect after a big move the previous day is the next day for it to be consolidation, either consolidation or trappy action, right? As you can see, this day right here, there's no structure, right? There may be structure, like this could have maybe, this looks like it could have been a soup. I actually want to see, would that be a soup? You can kind of like tell if something's going to be a soup or not, just with, you know, some experience. No, it's not. Okay. So same thing, you know, going all the way over here, we had some sort of big moves, right? This was decent sized move, another big move. So we have a consolidation. And since Powell speaks tomorrow, I don't think the afternoon is going to be good. I think the afternoon is just going to be trappy, especially if we take a target. So we'll see how that works. But I do expect us to go to this 15-minute, and we could also have these act as a breaker, right? This is a pretty good rejection point, especially because we have so many wicks. This would be a good spot for a breaker. And yeah, so that is my prediction for tomorrow. And then let me think about this for a second. I don't really know what I was going to do here, but if this high was taken, I would mark standard deviation, but it wasn't. There's no really standard deviation to mark up here. I mean, this could be one. Maybe if we went to like the 1 hour, you would think this would be like a manipulation leg, but it's really not, because there was a bunch of buy side right here and it came to take it out. Plus we did not take this high, so it was not manipulating this high right here. So there's not really much standard deviation. We just kind of got to go with the ICT concepts, right? So that is really all I have. I'll look at this daily real quick. So looking at this daily, wrong thing right here. We do, as you can see, again, we've just been in this consolidative up move, and this does look like sort of the power of 3 that happened, and it did work out pretty well. So what I mean by power of 3 here, if I put this back on, is that we had all of this consolidated move. Let me do this on the 4 hour. 4 hours is a really good example of this. So we had this consolidated move right here of all these days, and then we came down, swept these engineered sell side, tapped this 4 hour, respected it, came back up, and the target would have been this high. Or you could have also draw a manipulation leg, which would be this, but this is a big manipulation leg. I'll do it on these bodies here. Standard deviation. As you can see, we did not come right up to it. I don't really know how this would be marked. It would probably be marked on a little bit lower of a time frame. Maybe like these candles right here. Yeah, this would make better sense. There we go. Yeah, so you can see standard deviation of this would come right up to this 2 to 2.5 area on this strong manipulation leg. And how do I identify this manipulation leg? It's just the strong sell-off candles. So yeah, this is another point I wanted to make. If there's usually strong sell-off candles, I think I might have said this, I don't remember, but usually if there's strong sell-off candles, we're going to retrace up, right? And that happens like everywhere. Strong displacement candles, another strong displacement candle, we come back up, right? This would not be a strong displacement candle because it's not really manipulation. It's usually only on manipulative legs. Sort of like right here too. We had this strong candle, but this could have just been a little retrace. But yeah, it's really all I have. I do want to again see just real quick. So we tapped into discount of here, and we did enter OTE. So yeah, right here in this range right here, we tapped OTE and went higher. I think I had that already charted out, but this would have been a good entry on this 5 minute. Yeah. So, but this was right after London session, right? No, not that. Hold on. Yeah, this is right after London session. But yeah, that's really all I have today. So I hope you all have enjoyed this charting session, and I will see you all in the next one.